There we go. Perfect.
Perfect.
Is the background noise annoying at all? Can you hear anything in the back?
No.
Okay,
What about for you? Do you hear anything?
just your voice.
Okay, good, because I'm outside and like who knows what will come by because my neighborhood's
Yeah.
loud sometimes.
No, the street, the highway is like right here, so sometimes it could get a little annoying.
Okay, no, you're good for now.
Perfect. How are you, Britt?
I'm good. I actually go back to school very soon, so summer ends for me. It's been a
Hmm.
great summer, but very busy. But I'm ready to go back to school. I think it's time to go back.
I've seen, I've
Yeah.
seen, and we talked a little bit a couple hours ago. Um, how will your train? I'm very curious about this. How will your training schedule change for school? Because it's pretty rigorous.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely the type of person that takes a lot on at once. My freshman year of college, so I'm gonna be a junior, but my freshman year of college, I was in a I was rushing a sorority. I was on the school's dance team. I was trying to run track, so I did a lot. Um, while also like meeting friends and just figuring my way around college. And I definitely need to tone it back a little bit. But I have a tendency of taking on way too many things at once, and
Mm.
it is going to be interesting going back. So prior to like having like my Instagram, blog, podcast, etc., I was in college but didn't really like, blow up or anything. After school ended this past semester, that's when things really started to turn. So I haven't really been in school with like an Instagram following like what I have now. So it would definitely
Mhm.
be interesting to see how that will play out and see if I really have enough time to do that plus school,
Wow.
plus sorority, plus just do my own thing. So it's gonna be interesting, but I think I'll be able to handle all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so let's get into it. Well, first of all, for folks who have no idea who you are and
Like
are
who
tuning
who
into the
am I?
video, yeah, exactly. Like, who are you? What do you do? And like, what got you here to where you are today? Why did you ever open that Instagram account?
Okay, so there's like it's a big story, I would say, but to sum it up,
Yeah.
growing up, I grew up in a way every single day I would be outside playing with like my neighbors, always like sports oriented. I grew up with a brother. He was always doing sports, so I kind of was like, I want to do that. I want to do this.
Mm.
Very active lifestyle. I wouldn't say I was like the best athlete, but I did every single sport, always loved it, everything. And as I grew up, I knew I wasn't going to be a star athlete playing in college. So I kind of had to turn to something that I could take on my own terms. And that was just like the whole realm of fitness. I obviously did not know what I was doing at first. Like I would like hear tidbits like from my dad, from friends, from like trainers and mentors, but I really had like no grasp of like what I wanted to do in that area. Um, then when COVID happened, I really got into it. I know COVID for some people was very hard. For
Yeah.
me, I like turned it into something positive. I really took the time to invest in myself, my nutrition, my certain habits that I didn't like, and I changed it to more like beneficial habits. I started reading a lot. I took the TV out of my room. During COVID, started like reading books and just like informing myself of things that I was like yearning to know as a female, especially because I feel like we get a little jeopardized in the realm of like fitness, nutrition,
Mm.
and health.
Yeah.
So, and then also during COVID, I started like dealing with certain things that I wanted to fix on my own. And then I also grew up in a way where like my parents prioritize a more holistic approach. So if there was an issue, we would try to fix it,
Mm.
and like get to the root cause, not just use a pill or certain
Mm.
medicine. So I always grew up of like finding other ways to solve certain problems. And when I started dealing with certain things, I kind of turned to like fitness to really boost myself and
Mm.
just help me during like the times of like COVID also. And that's when I really picked up like this passion for sure.
That's beautiful. Yeah, sounds like a very powerful environment for what you do. It makes sense for what you're doing.
Yeah. I appreciate like my parents really raising me this way. I think if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be in the direction I'm heading. And it's very important to have that like background and that encouragement to really follow like your passion as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Dealing things with like during COVID, how was that? Like, what was that?
Well, originally my school, I don't know how it was for you, we were completely online,
Yeah.
go in person, and I was like miserable.
Wow.
I've always been the type of person, I'm very social. I love talking. I love that
Hmm.
face-to-face interaction with
Hmm.
people. And then when that completely got shut down, I was like, whoa, like what do I do
Hmm.
now? And I was also very involved in high school. I was on the dance team, the cheer team. I did basketball, leadership. Like again, I do a lot. So when that happened, I was like, whoa, I really had like nothing going on. I started like overthinking certain things, getting in my head. Um, and it was just hard learning as well online. Like I could not learn online. There was no way I was paying attention. I was in my room, a dark room on a computer screen, half awake, waking up at like 7:30. So it really wasn't the best way for me. Um, Fast forward, or do you still hear me, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, you're frozen on my end. I don't know if you still see me.
I'm what? I'm frozen in your end? Oh shit.
Yeah, I don't know. But if you could still hear me, that's fine, I guess.
Yeah, I can. My bad.
Okay.
I don't,
Okay.
okay.
Anyways, yeah. So like COVID, school did not work with me. Eventually, we were able to go back in person. So I was like the first to jump on that. I went back in person. Unfortunately, we're like forced to like wear masks and whatever. So I kind of just made the most of it. And that really just kickstarted a lot of things for me. Switching from home online 24/7 with my parents and just in my room to then being in school with kids my age, teachers, and just that face-to-face interaction was finally back in me.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, that little push just like made me want to do more. I tried
Wow.
out for the track team. I did dance team. I was involved with leadership and school spirit, and it really just like pushed me just one little thing to change. And then I just started spiraling with like taking on a lot of things.
Hmm.
And yeah, like that was a very good positive thing, I think, just taking that leap of faith. And when I was doing track and dance, I also started getting into the realm of like nutrition and
Hmm.
how to like fuel my body a certain way to have the energy after going through a long day of school and then going to track practice and then dance practice. So then I started reading a lot. Um, and it was great. Like it was very active, but then I hit like a little roadblock, I would say. I think 'cause I was doing so much physical activity that my body just was not used to it, could not keep up with it.
Hmm.
And I ended up dealing with some hormonal female issues. I don't know if you know what I mean by that,
Yeah.
but just along the lines of not menstruating every month. And it is so important for girls to do that, obviously. But I never dealt with something like that before. And I think it was just an overexerting of energy through track and dance and then weightlifting.
Hmm.
So I really had to like figure my shit out, honestly. And I started like really researching and getting into like certain food and what to eat. And looking back, I had no idea what I was doing. I don't know if you saw, like I posted a reel like what I used to eat. It
Yeah.
was a bunch of like garbage. Like it was low carb breads. There
Yeah.
was no protein in my diet. It was just bland and just not nourishing. And it just shows to prove that no wonder I wasn't like feeling a
Yeah.
certain way. I also had no energy. Like my hair would fall out. I would break out. My skin was terrible. And it just was not a vibrant experience.
Yeah.
So that's when I really locked in and wanted to learn more about nutrition. And that kind of took its own path. But and then after like doing sports in high school, when it came to college, I kind of closed those chapters with sports. I've realized that I wanted to just focus on college and just have fun.
Yeah.
I did the dance team like for like club for a little bit and a club track, but I just kind of focused on myself.
Hmm.
And so then I really turned to more like weightlifting and fitness, like a just a personal like passion to pursue.
Hmm.
And I like didn't really know what I was doing at all either at first, but I also came from a background where I never like got or like believed in like lifting weights makes you bulky or that's just for men. Like I grew up with a dad
Yeah.
that was always so for it. My brother always weightlifted, so it was always around that. So I never really had that like intention. So I kind of went full force. I was lifting very heavy, very into it,
Mm.
and I just got obsessed, honestly.
Mhm.
And then the next thing you know, I'm getting like people telling me like, what's your workout? What do you eat? What do you do? And I'm like, wow, maybe like this could be something. Maybe I'm doing something right. I also was feeling much better, confident.
Yeah.
Um, and I just kept spiraling. Honestly, just the more I worked in myself, the more opportunities opened up.
Mm.
And yeah, that's kind of it. I don't know. That was a lot at once, but if you have any
Yeah.
questions,
I was about to say, like, there's a lot to unpack, and
there,
it's great.
there is.
I think the first thing I want to touch on there was like being stuck during COVID was the complete opposite of the lifestyle you were previously living. So
Yes,
kind of what you're doing right now is just not to ever see that again.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Like I was not. I think I was like almost in like denial or like a blur was like over me, and I feel like I kind of broke that up, and I see the world so much different now.
Absolutely.
I think it just has a lot to do with the environment you're in, what you're
Yeah.
consuming, whether that's food or like social media and content. And I just think minor switches eventually adds up to such a big difference also.
Yeah. That's beautiful. And going back to, I think my school, what we called it was like going to school hybrid. We
Yeah.
would go a couple days in person, a couple days online. That was so annoying. But
Yeah.
like going back to school in person, still 6 feet apart with masks. What'd you feel about that kind of like shenanigans? Did you still feel like, okay, maybe this is still worth it, or it's the same shit?
So I've always been like a little rebellious. So I'll be honest, when I was in school, I would not wear the mask. I would
Yeah.
not like really listen at all. I could care less. So I kind of felt like more powerful going in there, kind of just
Wow.
my own thing.
Yeah.
And obviously teachers would not like it. I never got like in trouble or anything. I kind of would do what I had to do, obviously, but when times when they weren't looking, I would do my own thing. So it almost felt like a powerful thing going in there. And also none of my friends were in school at the time. Like I was with a lot of sophomores and freshmen. So that also like made me feel more confident, like doing something
Oh,
that
okay.
not everyone else is doing. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. By the way, if I'm looking down, I'm taking notes. I'm
You're
not listening to you.
good.
Um, your hormonal issues. How did you tackle that exactly? How did you overcome that? What was your path for like research? Does that make sense? Because you
Yeah.
said, yeah.
So my mom was a big advocate. She helped me a lot. So she started finding women that not necessarily were doctors, but these were women that help girls get their periods back.
Whoa.
Um, I forget the specific title these
Yeah.
women carry, but they're just like holistic um, approaches to like help people get their period back, whatever. And it was great. Like I would meet with these ladies a few times a week, and it almost felt like a therapy session
Mm.
sometimes. I didn't love it. I felt like they were almost making me feel like something was wrong with me. And
Mm.
obviously nothing was. It was just a lack of like information and knowledge. So yeah, I would meet with these ladies. They would tell me what to eat. They would tell me to stop walking. Don't walk past 5,000 steps. Don't
What?
even do this. So it was a lot of like, don't do this, don't do that, but do this. And I'm the type of person like I don't want to listen to someone that's telling me what to do. Like you
Yeah.
don't know my body. So that was an interesting experience. It went nowhere with them. They would help me like maybe a little bit to just gain some more knowledge, but in the end, I really had to do the work. I had to stop running track. I had to stop doing certain workouts. I had to eat more.
Yeah.
And then eventually it all came to be regular, but I just don't think the way they prescribe certain things, like they meant well, obviously, but in the
Mhm.
end, it's on me to make those decisions.
Yeah, it's a lack of education. I love how
Yes.
you placed that. And it was this experience how you noticed like food was a problem as well? Is this where you changed your diet massively?
Yeah, for sure, because I just knew I was under fueling, and I think part of, like, a little bit in society, like, women, like, still believe a little bit, that red meat is not good, a lot
Mm.
of fats are not good to have, and
Oh,
I
I want to talk about this. Yeah.
not that I was brainwashed at all, but, like, something in me, like, I never had a desire to really eat meat. Like, growing up, I would eat chicken, I would eat lots of vegetables,
Hmm.
salads. I can't even believe it, but I did, and I just never had, like, a desire to eat meat or to just eat, like, fatty foods, and now, like, it's all my body craves,
Yeah, I
and
love that.
yeah, no, it's just very interesting, and I think part of me was just in, like, another, like, universe at the moment and just wasn't aware of, like, what to do, and then once I switched over to certain things, I kinda just started, like, realizing, "Okay, wow, I feel much better eating this way,"
Hmm.
and, honestly, it's funny because my dad actually found, like, Paul Saladino and, like,
I
Carnivore
was,
Aurelius.
I was about to ask
Yeah.
exactly that. Yeah.
So my dad found them, like, on Twitter. I didn't even find them myself,
Yeah.
and he would, like, send me them randomly. He's like, "Listen to this, watch
Hmm.
this, like, you should eat like them." And obviously people, like, have their opinions on them, but, like, they really got me into this way. When I would see Paul make his videos and the way he eats, I was like, jaw dropped. I was like,
Right.
"Wow, he, like, looks like he's nourishing his body."
Yeah.
And then Carnivore releases tweets about certain things on, like, what females should eat. Like, these people honestly, like, kind of inspired me, and it kind of made me realize certain things that I just was not aware before social media,
Mhm.
honestly.
How did you start to make the change going animal based? What makes sense for you to start changing?
Okay, so definitely it was at first my, like, periods, getting that regular. Then when I wanted to see, like, more progress in the gym, I
Uh,
knew I had to switch the way I was eating.
mhm,
I had no muscle when I was running track because I just was not eating enough protein,
mhm,
carbs, and fats and everything.
mhm.
So I knew if I wanted a certain physique, I had to eat a certain way, and that really helped a lot. And then I also knew if I wanted energy for these workouts, I had to fuel my body in a certain way as well.
Is your family also animal based?
No. So they think I'm crazy. They
Mhm,
are like, just eat whatever you want. Like, okay, so I like switch up my eating like so much. Like at first I was
mhm.
eating like salads and whatever and vegetables, and then they see me eating like 2 pounds of beef every day, and then they see me not eating fruit, and now I'm eating fruit again. So they think
Yeah,
I'm crazy.
yeah.
But they don't eat like unhealthy. They
Mhm.
eat great. I just am a little more extreme than them, and they love me for it, but they just want me to tone it down sometimes.
I love that. And I feel like just, I don't know, experimenting is super fun and great. That's
Yeah.
how you realize something works. It's it's not the same as reading as actually getting skin in the game.
Mhm.
Um, so when did you start to see these hormonal issues kind of balance out or get fixed? I don't want to say get fixed because I don't know, with this diet. And I imagine by changing your diet, there were so many like lifestyle changes that made sense to change as well. No.
Yeah, no, but honestly, on top of diet, it also was a lot of like stressing and anxiety
Yeah.
things I had to fix on my own too. So once I got that balance out, plus diet, plus
Mhm.
fixing certain workouts, it all kind of evened out. I had to actually stop track because I was a sprinter. I would run the 100, 200, and a 4x1. And I don't know if you know, but like sprinters, like they get lean. Like I was very
Yeah.
lean when I was running,
No,
and my
I know it's a very like like demanding sport.
yes, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, I wasn't running long distance, but still, like, for some reason, my body was not used to it,
Okay.
and when I did take that on, like, it just came out of whack. It got out of whack, so I
Wow.
really had to stop track, and once I stopped that, then things started to fall back into
Wow.
place.
Wow.
It was a lot of, like, figuring things out along the way.
Hmm. Yeah, of course. I love that. There's this. Mm. So going animal based, did you start to become more aware about like a certain food issue around the world?
What'd you say?
Does that make sense? Like going animal based, did you start to see kind of the link between diet and health problems with other people in the world? Does that make sense?
Yes and
Right.
no. Um you want to explain it a little more?
Like how necessary diet is for
Oh,
health.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't dealing with such serious health issues, I'll be honest, like knock on wood, I wasn't really, but I could see if someone was dealing with an extreme issue, how this could change their mental health, their physical health, and overall like your body composition as well. But I wasn't really like in it for like looking at it at the big picture, like not to be like selfish. I was kind of just like focusing on myself
Yeah.
to fix my thing. But the more I got aware of certain things, the more I was like, wow, if people just ate a certain way, they wouldn't feel like crap
Yeah. Yeah.
in the day or something.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask, like, for girls my age, which are your age as well, trying to get on the same track, trying to go against the crowd, and I guess to make the question even easier, what advice would you give to your 18-year-old self?
Wow, that's very interesting. So, I would just say really stick to what you believe. Like everyone's gonna have their opinion, and it's gonna be hard to have like outside noise. But
Yeah.
like you believe in something, stick to it because everyone's gonna try to change your opinion. I know when I started eating a certain way, people had their opinion. When I started working out a certain way, people had their opinion. And in the end, like what you do is for yourself. So it's all trial and error. And then doing a lot of like research on your own, like as much as we find our research from social media, like really looking into certain things from books,
Yeah.
some articles is very helpful. I also loved talking to other girls my age and finding out what they did and then comparing and contrasting. So it's just a lot of like odds and ends, honestly.
What has been the biggest needle mover for you so far?
The what?
Needle mover. The biggest needle mover for you so far?
I would say getting out of my comfort zone with the health space. So I used to be very like cautious and never speak about health. I was very afraid to like share my opinion, like whether on social. I also like another thing we could talk about. I used to hate social media, which is crazy. All I do now is like social media, but I used to be so like afraid to share like my thoughts and my like opinions on like the way people should eat, the way people should exercise. I just thought people were going to be like upset with me or just find me like odd or weird. And I felt like out of place because I always had like a different opinion. So I feel like once I started like figuring out my own self, figuring myself out, and just being confident enough to like speak on behalf of myself, I think it really progressed things in a different way as like before like nutrition and exercise, just like getting to know myself and being confident enough to share.
Yeah, I love that. So
Yeah.
getting into that topic, why did you hate social media? Why were you?
Oh my god, I was
Why didn't you want to share?
So I was so anti social media. Like my friends that know me like in high school, I had no profile picture. I never posted.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like didn't have my notifications on
The
ever.
profile picture thing is.
I know it's a little weird, right?
Yeah.
So people were like, "What's wrong with her?" Like people were like, "Is she off the grid? Like is she okay?" Like I don't know. I think like also during COVID, I was going through a little metamorphosis, and I kind of just wanted no one's input, no one to like tell me like certain things. So I kind of went AWOL, like not gonna lie. But I was really just like grinding and focusing on myself, and I'm glad I did that without anyone like telling me like certain things. And I was just so against social media. I just never wanted anything to do with it. I thought it was toxic. I thought it would like ruin my brain. I thought it was bad in my phone 24/7. Like I was like in that like little delusion. Fast forward to today, I'm actually so thankful for it. I've gained so much knowledge from it because I'm the type of person I don't want to know or learn health from like a school because it's not going to align with my beliefs. I just know that. So social media gave me that outlet of finding like-minded individuals like myself who believe in certain things that is not going to be portrayed to you in your classroom. So I'm thankful for meeting certain people and learning certain things. And just like, for example, this podcast, like this would never happen if I never took that leap of faith. And I like talk to all these different individuals all day long and I learn all these things. And it's just crazy how I went from one end of the spectrum to like a complete opposite. And yeah, I still can't believe it. And people still can't believe that I have a following also.
Yeah. And it's not, I feel like it's not only gaining knowledge from all these people, but you're inspiring so many to do the same
I know, I
and get
love
on this
hearing
track.
that. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
get, like, DMs from girls, and they're like, "Oh my god, I love your content. You're so
Hmm.
motivational." I'm like, that literally makes my day.
Yeah.
And I had, like, this one girl reach out that goes to my school, and she goes, like, "You inspired me. Like, now I'm walking so much. I don't do certain things. I'm not gonna make mention." And I'm just like, wow,
Yeah.
like one person could just like change someone.
Yeah.
And that's amazing, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And I don't want to be such a hater to like on this topic specifically, but I feel like the modern world is so out to get you, out to get us.
Yeah.
Um, and getting this message and inspiring at this age is phenomenal.
Yes.
Like so many kids need to get on this,
I
obviously.
know. But
Yeah.
also then I have to like think about it sometimes and kind of reel it in a little bit, like humble myself, like
Yeah.
you're getting good like feedback, but just stay humble and still
Yeah.
stay like not too cocky. You don't want to
Yeah.
ever portray a certain way because I mean it's still social media. It's not completely real 100%. So just
Yeah.
stay aware. Obviously, I try to tell myself that too.
So where was that leap of faith exactly for you?
When I started social media.
Yeah. How did you switch that?
Okay, so taking it a little further back,
Yeah.
freshman year of college, first semester, I never went out, I never drank. I never really drank in high school ever. I was so against it. But then second semester, I stopped dancing, I stopped doing track, and I kind of just was like, you know what, I gotta meet some people. So I started going out a lot, started drinking a lot. I kind of lost myself. Like people don't really know this part of me. I've written a little bit about it in my blogs, but I kind of lost that like health and wellness girl.
Well,
I gained a lot of weight. My skin was bad. My hair was gross. Like I just drinking a lot, eating not good.
I mean, sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah,
that's the point where I say the world's out to get you. It's
yes,
so easy. Yeah.
yeah. No, honestly, people loved me when I was drinking, not in shape, like eating
Yeah.
like crap. And I have more to say about that, but I'll keep it kind of short. But so I gained like the freshman 15, whatever, it's common. So then when I went back home for summer, this was last summer, I was like, I gotta get my shit back together. This is not who I am. I was around people that were not aligning with my true values. And I started documenting my like progress on like a Snapchat private story, which had
Wow.
20 people, 20 close friends, a few family members. I would post what I ate in a day, what I did the day, workouts, whether it was going even in the sauna, whether it was a walk, anything in that realm, just posting constantly. And I kept it up the whole summer. I had even people even say to me, like, oh, you're not going to lose the weight. Like, you're not going to do this. I had like literally close friends tell me this. And I'm the type of person, if I set my mind to it, I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the summer, I was back to where I was
Wow.
prior. Felt amazing. I looked great. And I honestly got so many girls from like my sorority, from my school, reach out to me. They're like, please help me. Like, how did you do
Wow.
that? Like, you look so good. Like, I'm so happy for you. I'm impressed. Meanwhile, these girls were like praising me when I was going out and drinking and eating like crap. So it's just funny how the switch happens like that. And it really started from that Snapchat private story. It was funny. I literally called it like Rise and Grind was like the name of it.
Yeah.
And then my brother's girlfriend, one day I was like talking to her about it. She goes, you're doing so good with it. And I'm like, yeah, I just want to like kind of change the name. I don't know what to call it. She goes, oh, why don't you call it like Biceps by Britt? I'm like, okay, that's cute. Like, I don't really have big biceps, but like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever. So I just changed it to that. And then I started like adding more people to it. Then I just made that jump and leap of starting an Instagram. And then that's where it really all came to be and where it came to fruition. I even had people like scream across like in college, like on the like sidewalk, like Biceps by Brit. Like people like would call me that. And honestly, just coming from the Snapchat private story to the Instagram, then to the blogs, it just kind of all started like coming together. But there was definitely some like roadblocks before getting to that spot.
What were those roadblocks?
It was just like people telling me like certain things and how I felt about myself. Like I just felt like kind of defeated going home from college, like kind of out of shape, and like I lost that like spark in me. But once I got it back, I was like back for good, and
Mhm.
I will never drink alcohol again. Like I
Yeah.
know it's crazy. Like people like go to my school, drink every night, whatever, that's what they want to do, but I just don't think you could have a desire to be good, to be like performative in health and fitness and then
Mhm.
drink. Like I just don't. I
Yeah.
mean, people find the balance, great for
No.
them. I don't think you could do both.
Yeah. I understand. That's great. And thank you for sharing. And for my last question, what brings you most joy in life currently?
Ooh, that's kind of heavy.
Yeah.
A lot of things. Definitely my family. My family is like a big part of just like who I am and like what I want to be as I grow up. I think they really keep me going. I wouldn't say like even like fitness. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love fitness, but that's always evolving and it's always going to
Yeah.
be there. But like family comes first with everything, and having a good supportive background with friends too. So I love relationships. That really brings me joy in connecting with others.
Hmm. Yeah, I love it. And Britt, thank you again for this quick episode.
Yeah.
Um, I'd love to do a part two sometime. And I'm so sorry for all the changes that I had to do so far.
No, I get
Yeah.
it. I have a podcast too.
Yeah. Thank you. And it's going to be really fun to see um, what you do in college with this current lifestyle you're bringing.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
excited to.
Beautiful. Thank you, Britt. Give me a
Thank you
second.
so much.